This astronaut is a wizard who used advanced magic to travel to the moon. But how could magic be used for space travel? Why would wizards even want to go to the moon in the first place? This documentary covers the history of wizards and their journeys among the stars. The first attempt by modern magicians to travel to space was made by the Nazis near the end of the Second Great War. The German dictator thought the secret to winning the war was developing more advanced weaponry and dreamed of utilizing space to do so. He assigned a team of Germans and French alchemists to the project. What innovations and magics these European alchemists created remain a mystery due to the spectacular disaster of their attempt. What information remains is pathetically small. On February 6, 1944, the Nazi alchemists launched a manned spacecraft from Normandy in northern France. The spacecraft exploded upon reaching the Earth's atmosphere, vaporizing the astronauts within. But this was not the most devastating effect of the episode. What the Nazi alchemists had not anticipated was that the majority of the spacecraft's magic came out with the fire of its exhaust. This magical fire, unlike phlogiston fire in many ways, was incredibly powerful and devoured the nearby countryside, destroying the alchemist team and rendering a third of the French countryside uninhabitable. A successful attempt at entering space would not be made until 1992, when an international team of American and Japanese alchemists launched a ship called the Moth into space. After the success of the Moth, China feared the growing power of the Bound Kingdoms. In their anxiety, they began constructing a spaceship with the intention of colonizing the moon. At the time, ichor had recently been discovered as a magical fuel source, and China hoped to compete with the American magic economy by mining the moon for its esoteric resources. This, and a military base, would prove advantageous to challenging America. The Chinese called their spacecraft the Pagoda. Discovering China's plan to colonize the moon, America created their own team, who, along with the alchemists who built the Moth, developed the first flying island, complete with its own ecosystem and gravity generators. While this was the only flying island ever built to reach space, many flying islands dot the skies across the world today. While the Chinese hold the honor of being the first to reach the moon, the Pagoda's resources proved insufficient to effectively colonize and terraform it. China's ship is honored in history classes across the world, but it was the Americans who won the moon race in the end. The moon race concluded in 1997 when the Chinese seceded their claim to the moon to the Bound Kingdoms of America. America, however, did not feel comfortable with its place as the dominant world power and sought to be seen as a benevolent unifier of the world rather than a tyrant. To this end, the Americans announced their intention to create an international moon colony. They revealed to the world that the moon would be terraformed enough for the average person to comfortably live there by the year 2000. They then invited one couple from every country to live on the moon, where every expense would be covered for the rest of their lives, and they would be a part of the greatest magical chapter in history. The project was greeted with universal praise. By December 1st, 1999, a couple from every country was selected, and on January 1st, 2000, the flying island launched again and returned to the moon. All was well at first. The moon colonists got along amiably. In their first year, they made incredible progress in terraforming the moon and even developed unique magical instruments. However, on October 4th, 2001, communications from the moon colony stopped abruptly. After several hours of failing to connect with the colonists, astronauts were sent on an emergency launch to investigate the matter, and when they landed, they confirmed America's worst fear. The colony had vanished without a trace. The flying island, the greenhouses the colonies had built, every sign of human life had vanished into thin air. Many historians have offered half-baked theories into what happened to the moon colonists. None of them can be proven. All we know is what came after. Internationally, America received the blame for the colony's disappearance, and the reputation fell from the benevolent world leader to the tyrant it had always feared. Internationally, America received the blame for the colony's disappearance, and the reputation fell from benevolent world leader to the tyrant they had always feared becoming. Life, it seems, is like that. I close my record.